Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to December 31st, 2019. We got one more day left in this decade, and we're on to the next one. And I am super excited for, everything that we've got going on. I mean, I was pretty young back in the beginning of this decade, so it's kind of cool to be in the second of the new millennia, so to speak. Um, I don't know. I think this is going to be a good year, and I'm really excited. And I'm pretty or good. I don't know, good decade. I hope. And I'm really excited about everything that's going on. I'm really excited for what I've come to kind of learn about all this other all these other things, market wise, economy wise. Even news, technology, all this stuff. This is going to be huge. I mean, one of the big things that I'm looking forward to is I'm probably going to be doing in Dubai. There's a thing called Expo 2020, and it's a huge event with all sorts of technology and stuff like that. And I think it's really cool. I'll probably talk about it in some other video that's a little bit less related to stocks and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's going to be awesome. And I think, keep your eyes up, keep your eyes out, watch out for all this stuff that's going on. They're big news, big pieces of information, key moments are going on right now. History is being made right in front of us, and it's amazing. I mean, for example, the impeachment of Donald Trump. How does that affect the economy? How does for example, in 2020, Angela Merkel is going to have to rerun for her PM position. So these sorts of things are pretty amazing. And then what they mean for the world. It means everything. Everything that goes on now is extremely pivotal, and I think that's awesome. And I think it's really good to be a part of that kind of history. So, I think it's going to be a good year. I think it's going to be a good life. So, I mean, keep your eyes up. Watch out. There's a lot of awesome stuff that's coming, I think, your way. So just keep your eyes up. Be positive. Be careful. Be smart. It's all that. Now, on top of that, apart from all this new Happy New Year shit, I want to talk shit. I want to talk about just one thing. I've been trying to show these accounts for some time now, but I've had some issues with this computer that I'm using currently. But I think for the most part, it's mostly resolved. So I'm gonna show you guys right now. So basically, what it is one. More or less, it's about 1,000% long-term gains, and it's 1,000% long-term gains created without short-term spikes, which I think is important because there's a statement which is short-term gains often result in long-term losses, which is not a good thing. It's usually like when you play a YOLO, you make some $1,000 and then you never play it again, and then you start trying to recreate that exact situation, and you end up never making anything else, and it's terrible, and it happens to most people. Especially with newcomers into options and things like that. But I want to show you guys what it looks like. I think they'll look a little bit better. I mean, when you buy spreads and stuff like that, you get what looks like a stock. With options, it's not the same thing. You do see spikes, but these are short-term and long-term realized, and I think that's pretty important. So I'll show you right here. This is one of my Robinhood accounts that started with about $200. It came down to about 140, and that was where it was. And then we hadn't touched it for a little bit, and then I'd seen a setup. I believe it was Beyond, and I ended up taking it and took it to about 400. So that on its own is a little bit less than 400% gain. Yeah, 400% gain, a little bit less than that. And then over time we saw it come down a little bit, but then we started reaching a little bit harder with specific intraday moves and stuff like that, and we were able to get this to account to about 1,031. It actually hit 1,400 the other day, but that was, I think, some sort of fluke as far as the option pricing was concerned. But I mean, it started with $140 and we moved it all the way up to 1,000, and that is 1,000% gain. And this is over the long term. This was about 6 months ago. And yeah, I mean, sure, it took a time when you could just in one day get a 10 bagger, but you don't want those, because if you get those, you will constantly try to recreate those. And if you try to recreate those, you're going to lose money in the long term. That's what the point of this is. So we were able to reconcile that and instead create longer term growth. Now here, for example, you can see that we were up a lot and then we took a hit, and that hit does not have to discourage you. It just has to keep you smart, keep you on your toes, and look at that. We were able to recover it even more. And so, yeah, these big spikes, that's how options tend to look as far as how their return. But regardless, if you were to do spreads, you'd see it more like a little zigzaggy. But I mean, either way, it doesn't really matter. What you see is growth, and this is very important. Now, watching your risk management, watching how much you're taking out on these is really valuable. So make sure you do that when you play these sorts of things. I will go over this entire account soon. I will be I'm going to have some time soon, so I'm going to be working on the course thing that I've been trying to do. It was a little bit harder because I was overseas, so uploading and all that stuff was a little bit tricky. And then there was some sort of some sort of guideline that was different for the country. I don't know. It was a little bit annoying, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to get on those. You're going to see them. I'm going to create a little playlist so you guys can take a look at those. But yeah, I mean, keep an eye out for that firstly, and then keep an eye out on the news. Keep an eye out on what's going on. Like NIO is actually been taking off today over the last few weeks, actually, or week or two. Like I said, I've been out a little bit, but we saw a huge increase from $2 to what, $5 almost, for $4.70. So I mean, news is important. Technicals are important. Most of these plays over here were done actually based on a technical standpoint, but regardless, you can create growth, and it's very achievable, and having done it with more money, right? And now you have to be careful as well, because for this move, for example, I leverage the entirety of the account, and that is dangerous to do. Don't ever leverage your entire net worth. That's very dangerous. So that's a lesson that you should take away from this. But with proper risk management, with proper foresight, you could leverage an entire account while protecting up to a certain percentage. That's risk management as well. And you can see insane growth over time. And that is exactly what you want, and that's exactly what we got in the account. And yeah, so that's what I want to say for this video. I'm going to keep it really short, but I do want you to keep looking for those. I want you to be smart, and I want you to, keep an eye on everything. It's really a holistic understanding of what the news is, what this stuff means. I will, like I said, go over what happened in this account. We have a few other types of movements, so I'll go over those as well. But I think this was the most successful account because this one was arduously prepared. I mean, it's like flat lines between these are dates that we waited to even touch this because we didn't. And that's actually another thing that I want to say. Wait for the move. Don't ever, ever, ever force it. When you force it, you're gonna be wrong. It's like you can be right on a forced move, but you're just gonna hammer in a lesson that is wrong, which is just not what you want in a track record. This is not about making money. It doesn't matter that this account started with 100 and is now 1,000. If it started with 10,000 and is now worth 100,000, that would have been amazing. But that's not what matters here. What matters is that you know how to do it. If you can do it, you can do it forever. It's that whole it's the whole proverb, which is if you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for the rest of his life. You need to learn how to do that. You need to learn how to fish. That's what this game is. Learn how to fish. Don't get the fish. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys. You guys be blessed. Have a happy new year. All that. Make the most of what's coming for you. Don't use the new year to become a new you. Just use it if you need it. For a lot of people, they need it. I think that's another important thing. A lot of people, get on the whole idea of a new year, but it isn't. It's a new year. It's a new decade. If you haven't changed before, then use it to change. But remember, you don't need it. All right? I'll catch you guys next time.